The rain pounded against the windows, a deafening roar that drowned out everything else. I sat in the dim kitchen, the flickering light above casting long shadows across the walls. My hands trembled, clutching the cup of lukewarm coffee I hadn't touched. I stared into the dark liquid, the bitter taste of fear settling at the back of my throat. Mark's voice echoed in my mind. She wasn't my daughter. I kept telling myself that over and over, but every time I thought it, the words felt less and less like the truth. It all started 2 weeks ago when my wife Lisa brought her home from the hospital. She was just a baby, wrapped in a soft pink blanket, her face so tiny and delicate that I felt a surge of love the moment I held her. Her name was Emma, my daughter, my flesh and blood. I remember thinking I'd never felt more whole in my life, but then Mark's voice interrupted. But something was wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it at first. She cried like any newborn would, and I comforted her like any father would. But then it started. I noticed it one night when she was about 3 days old. I was changing her and I looked into her eyes. I know it sounds insane, but it wasn't right. Her eyes, there was something off about them. They weren't the soft, innocent blue I expected. They were dark, almost black, with a coldness that made my blood run cold. Mark's voice tried to rationalize. I brushed it off. Maybe it was the exhaustion or the strange light in the room. I had been up for hours, after all, trying to help Lisa with the baby. But then, the next night, it happened again. I was holding Emma in my arms, rocking her gently, when she stopped crying and just stared at me. Not like a baby would, with those wide, innocent eyes, but with a gaze that felt calculating. I felt my stomach churn, a wave of unease washing over me. But the moment I looked into her eyes again, I felt my pulse spike. Her gaze didn't waver, it didn't blink, and there was something about it that seemed wrong, too aware, too knowing. I shook my head, placing her gently in her crib. I needed sleep so badly, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me, something waiting for me to let my guard down. The following days didn't get any better. It was as if the baby wasn't just there. It was like she was aware, too aware for someone so young. And it wasn't just her eyes. It was the way she would smile sometimes, this twisted little grin that made my skin crawl. It wasn't the innocent, gurgling smile of a baby, but a smile that seemed to mock me, as if she knew something I didn't. Lisa thought I was losing my mind. You're just tired. She's just a baby, Mark. You're seeing things. But it wasn't just the smile. It was the noises too. I began hearing things, whispers, scratching sounds in the walls, the low hum of something wrong, like the house itself was alive with secrets I couldn't understand. One night I woke up to the sound of giggling, high-pitched and childish, but wrong. It wasn't the sweet giggle of a baby. It was sharp, almost too loud in the silence of the night. I got out of bed, heart pounding in my chest, and stumbled toward Emma's room. I was half dazed, but when I opened the door, I froze. She was sitting up in her crib, her back straight, her head tilted to the side. The room was dark, save for the faint glow of the moonlight creeping through the window. But even in the dimness, I could see her smiling, that same twisted, unnatural smile. "Emma?" I whispered, hoarse, barely a whisper. She giggled again, that same chilling, unnatural sound. And then she spoke. "Hi, Daddy." I stumbled backward, my heart leaping into my throat. What the hell did you just say?" Her eyes met mine, those dark, empty eyes, and her smile widened. "I'm not your daughter, Daddy. I'm not your little girl." My blood ran cold. I slammed the door shut, my chest heaving, but the words echoed in my ears. They wouldn't leave me. They wouldn't stop. I ran down the stairs, my body trembling. I had to get out of that house. I had to get away from her. The thing in her crib wasn't my daughter. It couldn't be. I went to Lisa, shaking her awake. "Lisa, wake up. We need to go, now." She blinked at me, confused, her hair messy from sleep. "Mark? What's wrong? What are you talking about?" I couldn't form the words. My mind was a blur, my thoughts racing faster than I could keep up. The baby wasn't my daughter. It couldn't be. The eyes, the smile, the voice. Lisa followed me upstairs, still half asleep, when I grabbed her arm. "Don't go in there. Don't go near her. Mark, you're scaring me. You're acting crazy. She's just a baby." But I couldn't stop. I couldn't explain it. There was something inside me, a primal fear, telling me to run, to get as far away from Emma as possible. The thing that looked like her wasn't my daughter. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I had to protect my family. Lisa opened the door to the nursery, and my heart skipped a beat. The crib was empty. What the hell? "Mark, where is she?" I stared at the empty crib, my mind racing. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what I was seeing. The whispers were back, louder now, crawling beneath my skin. Suddenly I heard a voice, Emma's voice, clear as day, but coming from behind me. "Mummy, Daddy, I'm right here." I whipped around, my eyes wide with terror. There, standing in the doorway of the nursery, was the figure of a little girl. But it wasn't Emma. It was something else, a twisted, distorted version of her, a thing wearing her skin. Her hair was too long, too tangled, her skin pale and sickly, and her smile, that damn smile, it was wide, too wide, and her eyes, those dark, empty eyes, stared right through me, devoid of any warmth or humanity. "No, no, no, no," I whispered. The thing that wasn't my daughter stepped forward, its voice low and mocking. "You thought you could protect them. You thought you could stop me. You're too late, Daddy." I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I couldn't breathe, couldn't scream. All I could do was watch as the thing that looked like my daughter, wasn't my daughter, moved closer. It opened its mouth wide, and for the first time I saw the darkness inside. The blackness was all-consuming, pulling me into it. "Say goodbye, Daddy." And then everything went dark. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more chilling tales.